I see that our speaker has joined, and so Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much. Uh, yeah, thank you so much for uh, joining today's Bhagavatam session with us. We are extremely fortunate to have His Grace Ram Giridhari Prabhu joining us from Mumbai, India. Prabhu is going to enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 18, verse number 5. Prabhuji, whenever you are ready, you may take over the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam, Salgush Prabhupada. So I hope you all had a wonderful Nityananda Trayodasi Utsav. So we'll start with our invocation prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So we are going to study from the chapter titled The System of Universal Management. This was Maharaj Parikshit is inquiring about how Manu and others in each Manvantara are engaged in their respective duties. In that line, Sukadeva Goswami is responding. Verse number 5, we are going to discuss. Tato dharmam chatushpadam manavo harinodita yukta sancharayantyadha sve sve kale mahim nripam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thereafter, O King, the Manus, being fully engaged according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly re-establish the principles of occupational duty in its full 4 parts. Purport. Dharma or occupational duty can be established in its full 4 parts as explained in Bhagavad Gita 4.1. The Lord says, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam vivasvan manave praha manor ikshvakave bravit. I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan. Vivasvan instructed to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. This is the process of disciplic succession. Following the same process, the Krishna consciousness movement is teaching the principles of Bhagavad Gita as it is, without deviation all over the world. If the fortunate people of this time accept the instructions of Lord Krishna, they will certainly be happy in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone, at least India, to become a preacher of this mission. In other words, one should become a guru and preach the Lord's instructions all over the world for the peace and prosperity of humanity. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Menam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namavam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Tato Dharmam Chatushpadam Manavo Harinodita Yukta Sancharayantyadha Sve Sve Kale Mahim Nripa. Thereafter, O king, the Manus, being fully engaged according to the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, directly re establish the principles of occupational duty in its full four parts. So it's very wonderful that Srimad Bhagavatam gives us various perspective. The general masses or people who doesn't have faith in Vedic literature, they always operate based on what they could comprehend and what is logically clear to them. By and large, in today's world, those who does not have access to spiritual subject matter, their by and large decision is either they will be yes men to somebody popular for some personal vested agenda, or they will be talking only what they could comprehend because their brain says anything that is logical can only be correct. That which is beyond my logical comprehension cannot be correct. And third are naturally some cheaters. Only those who have access to spiritual subject matter, those who are in the association of self realized men, they are able to get various perspectives from a bona fide source. The idea is that the whole science of Krishna consciousness is called a science because it is not based on somebody's individual's whims and fancies, or it's neither it is a description of somebody's dream. As we describe about heavenly planets, hellish planets, activities of the Lord, activities of various personalities, sometimes people say or think that we are making up things for some personal vested agenda. So it is to be noted very clearly that we don't have such a requirement to have a vested agenda because our knowledge source is very clear, and from wherever we are learning, it is directly coming from Supreme Lord through a bona fide process of disciplic succession. So, Srila Prabhupada is very happy to share it with us that he is providing us this transcendental science, which is not only bona fide, which is not only authorized, which was directly enunciated by the Supreme Lord Himself. This science of understanding about the entire universe gives us a perspective that we are all responsible and accountable human beings. We cannot just simply say that I will do anything that I want to do and nobody can ask question. It's not allowed, not possible, and these types of descriptions helps us that for looking after us, for putting the house in order, for making sure that all the necessary facilities are made available for the created beings. The Lord is extending Himself. In the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the chapter beginning with a very interesting statement by Krishna. Krishna says that, my dear Arjuna, I am going to impart you with that knowledge which is superior than what you heard so far. In ninth chapter, he gave the most confidential knowledge, and in 10th chapter, right after the very next verse of Manmana Bhava Madbhakto, Krishna says, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. And in the process of explaining about him, he is telling that how his vibhutis, how his energies and opulence are present, and people should learn to see Krishna behind them. So when we read chapters like this one that we are currently reading, the system of universal management, we should remember that the supreme manager, the supreme personality of Godhead, he has always kept his house in order. So we are going to have reflections from this particular context and try to churn them as we have to learn some lessons for ourselves. So the very first reflection is about the sense of responsibility and accountability. This sense of responsibility and accountability is not only for humans, it is also for demigods. Right from Brahma all the way to the smallest creature, we are part of this ecosystem, which is 1/4 of the creation, called Ekpad Vibhuti. There is 3/4 belongs to the spiritual world, which is called Tripada Vibhuti. So when right from Brahma, under Brahma's direction, when we have higher planetary systems, we have earthly planets, we have lower planetary systems, and all of them are managed for the Supreme Lord's purpose, because this material creation itself is meant to deal with those notorious ones who did not want to stay in the spiritual world, who showed some amount of enviousness, and came down to this material world. So when a government is planning for a state or a city or a town, as a part of the city town planning, as a part of city design, there will be always police station and there will always be prison. The reason prison and police station are needed is so that the house is in order. And if the house is not in order, so we will not be able to have others to remain in peace. So it is extremely important to note that the Lord, for keeping the house in order, He tries to create various authorities, superior beings, and help everyone to evolve from their position. And these people who are managing these manus, they are not some ordinary people. One day, Srila Prabhupada was going for a morning walk. So um, he happened to have he had some groups of his students with him. Suddenly he stopped. He stopped, pointed his cane um, so to a group of ants that were going. So he asked the disciples, when you look at them, what is your understanding? What do you get to realize? So, because sometimes Prabhupada, spins off such a question, and we can't, know which direction Srila Prabhupada is going to take us forward. So the disciples were just thinking and said, Prabhupada, you only say. Srila Prabhupada said that the way these ants are insignificant for us, we are also highly insignificant for the demigods. So we better do not disrespect demigods. So the point is, these Manu, as Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, these Manus are not some ordinary being, they are the ones who have received bona fide spiritual direction from the previous authorities. Krishna gave his knowledge to Vivaswan, Vivaswan gave it to Manu, meaning this process of disciplic succession, meaning the knowledge of how to conduct, the perspective on how to manage this universe, how they are all meant for a higher purpose, and each of them have to go through their own evolution based on one's own acquired karma. And these people are Manu, Ikshvaku, or whatever the great personalities, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all the demigods, they are very well trained. So, my point is that the sense of accountability and sense of responsibility is something that is expected of all the created beings. Only those who are able to appreciate, understand, acknowledge the sense of responsibility and accountability, they will be able to make progress and eventually quit the cycle of birth and death. For those who don't understand the sense of responsibility and accountability, they will simply commit sinful activities, and continue to suffer in this world. So that is why the demigods have created some code of conduct. So this code of conduct, which those who are working in the corporates will appreciate, that every corporate or every forum has got a code of conduct. If you don't behave in that code of conduct, based on the gravity of the mistake, the person is punished or rewarded or elevated or appreciated. And all these things are taken care by the Manus. And this is not just in terms of accountability and responsibility alone. They are done under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. To that extent, they are performing their spiritual functions, their duties. And as they have to execute their duties, uh, they will do it without any partiality, invariable to every created beings. They have to go through this. Unless the Supreme Lord intervenes and provides some extraordinary support, everyone is bound to be rewarded or punished based on how well they are following the code of conduct. So, this is the very important aspect for all of us to understand, that for the action that we do, we will be rewarded or punished. So, hence, we are responsible for what we are doing. Several times we have gone to the Lord and stood in front of the Lord and expressed, "My dear Lord, what mistake I did? Why am I being punished? Why am I have to go through this?" And all sorts of funny questions we ask. But when we read these chapters, we get to know that uh, our created agenda is that we are supposed to be especially human and people who are above human beings. The law of karma is not applicable to animals. But for human beings, for demigods, we are answerable, we are accountable, we are responsible, and we are punished for our mistakes and we are rewarded for our good things. So, our journey in Krishna consciousness should begin with a sense of accountability and responsibility. If we do that, then we are having a natural appreciation, attraction for progressive Krishna conscious activities. That is why in any school or a college, they first expect, or even a corporate nowadays, they first expect conduct certificate. Huh? The conduct certificate tells us where do we stand in our character, where do we stand in our behavior, and it tells us that how suitable are we for going through this process. So this is my first reflection, which is about the idea of sense of accountability and responsibility. Second agenda is about, in this shloka, we need to remember how the Lord is going ahead and doing this. For this, let us go to Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Lord is explaining to Rupa Goswami about how these various incarnations and how are they managed, who are all managing them, and various signs underneath them. At that time, the Lord is explaining about Swayam Rupa, Swayam Prakasha, Tadekatma Rupa, and third is Avesha Rupa. So this is, if you can refer to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela in the context of Rupa Siksha, you'll get to know more details about this. So this Tadekatma Rupa is that form of the Lord where the Lord is fulfilling his administrative services. Swayam Rupa or Swayam Prakasha is where the Lord performs direct, amorous, and other pastimes when he manifests, like when he was in Vrindavan, when he was in Dwaraka, when he was in Mathura. So these pastimes are all performed by the Lord, and this is directly performed by his Swayam Rupa. The Lord Krishna as Shama Sundara perform these pastimes. Avesha Rupa is empowered personalities who try to get Shakti Avesha Avatar, whom we say. So they get the special benediction, empowered, so that they can look after, take care of the surrendered souls. The in between category is called Tadekatma Rupa, wherein the Lord tries to take care of several administrative roles. And these administrative roles are done for the sake of maintenance as well as for the sake of elevation to Krishna consciousness. As explained in the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam, Atra Sargo Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya. Manvantare Ishanugata Niroda Muktirashraya. There are 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of that, one of the subject matter is Manvantare. Manvantare Ishanugata means this Manvantara, how the cosmic cycles, the periods ruled by Manus establishing cosmic order. This is explained. And for doing that, to put the house in order, the Lord takes care of this through his Tadekatma Rupa. That is why there is Vishnu, expansions of Vishnu, there is Brahma, there is Lord Shiva, there is demigods, there is Prajapatis, there is Mauruds. So there are so many administrative body. If anybody can understand the general government structure, so this is a superlative government structure to keep the house in order and to make sure that we are all having a progressive growth journey. If we do not have these things in order, then we will not be able to make any necessary progress. For me to perform dharma, I need an ecosystem. For me to perform my services, I need an association. For me to improve upon my notoriousness, I need a place where I can get corrected. So a jail or a place where people are punished is actually welcome for the larger good. So the point is that Krishna takes this Tadekatma Rupa and try to inspire, empower the people under him to take care of all of us. So this is one way of the Lord's reciprocation to whatever his relationship with us. How much ever we may be, rude or not so good to deal with him, but he, as a supreme father, as a caretaker, as somebody who is a well-wisher of all of us, he is trying to make the necessary arrangement. So my second reflection is about how the Lord's function as a father, a supreme father, uh, and and how he is trying to take care of this entire created activities. So the Stadekatma Rupa is something that the Lord, not as one function, but multifarious functions are grouped together, and as a team, he has got a team to take these things, forward and put the house in order. So this, when you hear them, our appreciation, our glorification, our surrender to the Supreme Lord increases, because it is not only the Lord is asking us to follow some duties and responsibilities and be righteous, it is even the Lord who is demonstrating it by his own personal practices. So that is why we are all called Manushyas. Uh, in Sanskrit, human race are all called Manushyas. Manushya means those who are followers of Manu. As you all must have heard, There are different types of Manus, but we are part of one of the Manu. The different Manus names are Vaivashvata Manu, uh, um, Chaitra Manu, um, like the different Manus. I'm not able to recollect all the Manu names, but there are several 14 different Manus. Uh, the current Manu period is called Vaivasvata Manu. That is why whenever we do any Sankalpa, we specifically say, I belong to the period of Vaivasvata Manu. And in that, I am at the junction of Ashtavimshati. Ashtavimshati means that eighth division or something like that. So in our Sankalpa we say Vaivasvataman Mantare Ashtavimsati Tame Kal Yuge Pratame Pade Jambu Dvipe Bharata Varshe Bharata Kande Meroho Dakshine Parsve. So these are all Sankalpa mantras where I specify who am I, from where I have come from, all the details before I offer my oblations to Supreme Lord. So hence the Lord by his Tadekatma Rupa function, he is exhibiting his fatherly role. He is trying to take care of all of us to the core to make sure the house is in order, the surroundings are in order, and the code of conduct is established, so the dharma is protected. When dharma is protected, then we are able to perform higher dimensional activities. So that is why Srila Prabhupada starts this purport by saying dharma is protected in every yuga according to yuga dharma's directive. In this yuga, dharma is protected through the process of harinama sankirtanam. So when demigods they want to perform their worldly activities, so they have their own abode, but they want to perform spiritual activities. They search when and where the Lord is performing Leela, and they come and take part in that. So this is about the second reflection. The Lord as the Supreme Father, and He is trying to keep the house in order. Third and last reflection is about how the Supreme Lord, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that this science of Krishna consciousness, huh, demigods, great sages who originate from me, huh, cannot understand the head and tail of it. Because you are my friend, because you are not envious of me, I am sharing these things with you. Krishna is explaining this. And this relationship of you being transparent and clean, my dear Arjuna, is in my interest because I love my students who want to follow me and eventually come to me. Uh, so then Krishna is glorifying how pure devotees in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 8, 9, 10, 11. So the Lord says that how He is the source of everything, and all that we are enjoying, all that we are getting is based on His sanction. Sarvayonish Kaunteya Sambhavanti Murtayaja Tasham Mahat Yonir Brahma Aham Bija Pradapitaha. So he has repeatedly said, I am the seed giving father. I have agents, but eventually they are all emanating and coming from me. So that is summarized as the second reflection. And the third reflection, and the last one for the day, is about how Srila Prabhupada explains Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, at least in India, to become a preacher of this mission. In other words, one should become a guru and preach the Lord's instruction all over the world. This agenda, if he had very closely followed, Srila Prabhupada has done till the last moment of his life. And we are getting to see Srila Prabhupada's disciples, servants, they are also carrying the same mood. If you see the contemporary acharyas of ISKCON, some of them or most of them are above 70s, and all of them are keeping the same spirit as in of Srila Prabhupada, where he will preach but not possess. He will try to win souls but not restrict and control them. So it is in our best interest that we latch on to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission and try to cleanse the heart, rub the heart, purify our existence, so much so that we are able to appreciate the science of Krishna consciousness. So, hence, the third reflection is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to become Guru. Recently, we had a sammelan, a gathering in Madurai with all the disciples of Jayapataka Maharaj. We met in Madurai to glorify about our Guru Maharaj. So my Guru Maharaj came and gave 3 full days, good classes, and in all of them, he was encouraging the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mood of Nityananda Prabhu, the mood of Panchatattva. So he was explaining that how anyone who wanted to glorify Krishna, they better be a servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, because Sri Gaur Nitai has come down exclusively for doing that. So Sri Prabhupada is telling that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission, one should take to every nook and corner. So my third reflection is about when I am um, when I am behaving in an accountable and responsible manner, and when the Supreme Father is working his bit to keep the house in order, should we not go one step further and say that, my dear Lord, I will try to become a better citizen, better student, better follower, better servant, and glorify you? That is what the rest of the devotee community does it. Even though they know that at the end of the day, we have to um, um, at the end of the day, we all have to answer our own journey. But then, for fulfilling the missionary spirit, every follower of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sankirtan mission, they try to take the responsibility of the spiritual master and preach. So Jayapataka Maharaj is encouraging that please become a guru as much as possible. You try to raise up your qualification. Come to the level of trying to accept responsibilities. Come to the level of trying to become accountable. Come to the level of being a very sincere practitioner. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu want this to happen. Uh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu predicted this will happen. And Srila Prabhupada has taken extra. So recently Jayapataka Maharaj was in Mumbai. At that time, Devakinandan Prabhu, who is one of the leaders of ISKCON India, he happened to come to meet Jayapataka Maharaj. So Maharaj at the time he said twice, one in that meeting, one in his class. He said, I am the witness to what Srila Prabhupada has done. Huh? I personally witnessed how long nights Srila Prabhupada used to work, how long nights he used to be awake for giving us Bhakti Vedanta purports. So, my Jayapataka Maharaj was telling that it was not a third person or fourth person. Since I personally witnessed what Srila Prabhupada's mood was and what he was trying to do, so these statements that is mentioned over here are all something that needs to be very seriously taken up, Meaning that please chant, dance, celebrate, but make sure that we preach. Each one preach one. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted it, and Srila Prabhupada has enabled us, empowered us, and in that process, we are getting some mercy to practice Krishna consciousness. Uh, so somebody sang the song, Jadi Gaur na hoito, tabe ki hoito, kemone dharitam de. Huh? If Gauranga Mahaprabhu had Gauranga Mahaprabhu had not come, what would have happened to me? Radhara Mahima Prema Rasasima Jagate Janato Ke. Who else would have given us Krishna Prem like the Rashi Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So one should become a guru because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to become a guru. Becoming a guru is not some sort of an award or reward. Become a guru is an accountable, responsible service. Becoming a guru means I'm saying that I am at your service, Gurudev, please, I'm available in anything that you want. It is about making sure he or she is comfortable. We have to make a serve. We have to serve the spiritual master. We need to become servants to our gurus so that they serve the Sankirtan mission. Uh, Now the million-dollar question is going on female Diksha Guru, but I will not get into that. But the idea is that everyone should become a Guru. Uh, so preach the Lord's instructions all over the world for the peace and prosperity of humanity. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission wanted us to be a noble followers, wanted us to be having a kind hearted followers, wanted us to become a followers where um, suffering people are rescued. That is why a Vaishnava is called Paradukka Dukhi. Paradukka Dukhi means when somebody else is in pain, just by looking at that pain, he gets pained. So um, when Srila Prabhupada is asking us to become a guru, it is not a title, neither it is an entitlement, but it is about a service opportunity. So he's saying, every one of you become guru and preach the Lord instructions all over the world uh, for the peace and prosperity of humanity, not for any other personal agenda, not for you to get the reward and appreciation. It is purely our duty. We have been given love, we have been given extended support so that we follow the Lord's instructions for bringing in peace and prosperity, which is generally unusual in Kali Yuga. So, hence, the third reflection is about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission associated with all that we are doing. So even though Manu, Ikshvaku, all the demigods, they all have been given some responsibility to put the house in order. The house can completely come to order only when the Sankirtan mission happens. I'll just end my presentation with a very interesting story that happened in Hyderabad. So this time Srila Prabhupada was going to install deities in Hyderabad. And those days, I'm talking about um, when Srila Prabhupada was initially setting up temples, ISKCON did not have a lot of pujaris. So Srila Prabhupada has brought pujaris from um, Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. So after the entire puja vidhi, everything got over, Vishnu Jana Maharaj started to sing the song of the first Gaurarti or first Sandhyarti. So when he finished the Sandhya Arti or afternoon Arti, maybe not Sandhya Arti, afternoon Arti, he went on and started singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He started glorifying Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He started singing in a most wonderful, enthusiastic manner. It kept on like a roaring, like a, everybody were dancing like anything. So at that time, these pujaris who had come from Tirupati, They witnessed the scene of how devotees were completely absorbed and dancing. So they also started dancing. And Srila Prabhupada pointed out to them and said, this is the success of Krishna consciousness movement. We may have born in a Shudra family. We may have some sort of what do you call um, uh, not have enough background in terms of a proper samskara. But then, if we go through the Sankirtan mission and we are just able to chant and dance and perform our devotional service, then Bhagavatam says, Mukta Sangha Parambrajet. These people are called to be considered as Mukta Atmas, delivered souls, liberated souls. Kalir Dosh Nidhe Rajan. Even though Kali Yuga is full of faults, because of us dancing and singing, we will be classified as Muktatmas. This is again not a title, but this is about a sense of accountability and responsibility. So these three reflections combined together helps us to understand this creation and secondary creation. Primary creation is always done by Krishna with the help of Brahma, and secondary creation is what Brahma manages the universe. So, as a part of the secondary creation, these discussions about cosmic time and Manu Ikshvaku, all those details are available here to establish the authenticity of this. So, the um, the Bhagavatam, hence, is called as a pramana, is a basis. So Bhagavatam tells about timeline, Bhagavatam tells about people, Bhagavatam tells about predicting what is going to happen in the future, foretelling. So all of those things Bhagavatam is providing us. So it is in our best interest we become Bhagavatas and eventually become a guru and win more and more souls to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada. So don't say no or shy away or try to get some sort of intimidated when somebody says that you have to become a spiritual master or you are already a spiritual master. It is the humility is important, but the humility should not be a restrictive ones. So from that perspective, it is to be noted that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted everyone to preach, so we all are supposed to preach. One devotee in Juhu, he started a program called Papad program. What is a Papad program? Preach a person a day. Huh? So every day we preach one person. Like how every day we can read one or two shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, preach every day, and that way our anarthas in the heart, as well as the bad situations of the person to whom we are preaching, both of them can get fixed. So, as a summary to this particular chapter or particular shloka, we had discussed about three sets of reflections. So, as a part of three sets of reflection, the first reflection is about the sense of accountability and responsibility, and second reflection is about the Lord as a supreme Father. He wants to keep the house in order, and he definitely uses his um, special power and creates special beings like Manu and various other personality and try to help us to remain calm and house in order. And last but not least, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan Andolan is a solution for those who have come up till this point in time of dharma. It is to elevate them from dharma to bhakti, and that is taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself by the process of chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sankirtan mission is going to inundate the entire universe, and we are seeing already many initiatives of spreading the Sankirtan mission are going on, and our acharyas, the current one, the spiritual masters, they are all extending themselves for this mission. Thank you all so much. I'll stop here and take up any questions or comments. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Sai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. If anybody has any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for so nicely staggering, chunking this verse and repeating uh, main points so many times. So, the three takeaways from your class that I was able to catch were Supreme Personality has kept his house in order, and there is a sense of responsibility and accountability for all. And Lord is our seed giving Father. And the last one is we should all preach to please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of servant of a servant of a servant. Prabhu, I don't have any question at this point, but I'm going to open the floor and let anyone ask questions. Anyone who has questions, please go ahead and ask. Or if you have comments, reflections, please go ahead and um, ask Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanu Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Very nice class, Prabhu. I have a couple of questions regarding the first reflection when you mentioned about like in a person who make a mistake. I mean, they will have to bear the karma or something, right? So
Yes.
something related to I have like there are people who have taken birth in in such a family like they have to commit the sins every day. For example, a person who took a birth in a butcher family, or the person who is who has to run the family business of a restaurant and they are selling meat or all this. So how those person they can elevate themselves and they will continue to do the that activity every single day. And the second thing was uh, yeah, bro. That's one question. Yes.
Yeah, so the idea is that our Prahlad Maharaj is from demoniac family. So, and we have all our hippies and happies. So they are all from a very, degraded background. Just because I am born in a wrong family or born in a family where wrong things are happening cannot be an excuse to whatever. Mrigari was a hunter. We have so many examples. Valmiki. The point of discussion is that the Sankirtan mission is such a sublime process that if you wish to come out of it, there is a way forward. For that, you need to wish, for that, you need to desire, for that, you need to aspire, for that, you need to be ready. You just cannot hide behind family situation, family values, family tradition, family, profession. And if we just give that as an excuse, Krishna will also say that I have multiple universes to manage, so I will attend to you later. So there's a saying in English: ignorance is bliss. So long as somebody remains an ignorant, so long as somebody remain ignorant, uh, so they may be, they may be blissful also. They may be even excited also. But then to remain ignorant is not advised. So if you show interest, there are ways and means to come out of your precarious condition. Second thing is somebody in the butcher family, somebody in a most abominable situation, most abominable situation. They are born based on what they have done in the past. But somehow, if they have come in contact with uh, devotees or Vaishnavas, that's their hope. That's exactly one of my point was that we may uh, have committed lots of offense, but because our master is kind enough, he is showing the way forward. He is showing the trajectory of my growth. So I should definitely make sure that I express my readiness, repentance, and move forward in serving Krishna because my life is my responsibility. If I put the responsibility on somebody else, then it is not acceptable. Am I making some sense, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. And Prabhuji,
Yeah.
you mentioned about the PA/PAD program, like preach a person a day. So can you
Yes.
give some practical tips for the person who is working in 9 to 5 job, and or okay, maybe a housewife, how can they preach a person?
Wonderful. So this PAPD, Preach a Person a Day program. This is the brainchild of one of our devotee friends in Juhu, and my senior also, His Grace Gokuleshwar Prabhu. So what he said was that the most easiest way to do this is that find someone in your contact list, make a laundry list of all your contacts, and give a Bhagavad Gita one copy to one person one day. So that is, I mean, this is actually a book distribution agenda. But for us, book distribution or even any other form of engaging anyone in Krishna consciousness is a very important activity. So the tips are, one is you can find out people and give books and try to help, or you can try to encourage them in coming in contact with some of their bhakti vrikshas, ashrayas, manjari, and so many programs. In Ministry of Congregation Development, where I am serving, they are coming up with a program to see to that every individual. Jayapataka Maharaj was telling day before yesterday in a conversation with us, he was telling that we should not leave any stone unturned. Every bit of every cross section of the society. So we already have Bhakti Vriksha, we already have Bhakti homes, we already have Bhakti steps, like the different offerings for the devotee community. So he was adding more and more. How about every month we celebrate? How about every different pockets of the socio-economic ecosystem? How about we go and reach out to each and every one of them? So this is the mood of those who are servants of Nityananda Prabhu. This is the mood of those who are servants of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So tips could be that we distribute one Bhagavad Gita a day or one book a day, or try to find out somebody who are doing some preaching program and connect them to that person a day. And this is a sincere endeavor that one need to take, because we are missionaries. It's not that missionaries are somebody else. We are just some, spectators. No, we are equally missionaries. We may not have the necessary acumen to go and be in the forefront, but by being in the background and support, we can definitely help by, using every possible strategy. No strategy can be, left behind, whether it is an outreach strategy, whether it's a family bonding strategy, whether it is even being a best performer in your office and let people get attracted to you. Even that is also a strategy. So that is how a army man will constantly think. If he has to attack the opponent side, he has to constantly think, what do I do so that my opponents are, getting weaker. So in our case, if we remain strong, if we remain vocal, if we remain um, um, details oriented, then I guess the avenues for reaching a person a day is easily possible. I'm not able to give an exhaustive list of strategies. We do have in all of them, but everybody can come up with their own strategy. That makes sense, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so if there are no further questions, maybe we can close.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandhat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Ram Giridhari Prabhu, for the wonderful class. You organize your thoughts so well. It's very easy to follow. Thank you, Prabhuji, for every time coming and enlightening us. Prabhuji, my question is regarding, the world order of how the Lord has orchestrated the different positions. The one doubt comes into mind is the um, how the Lord comes through the agency of Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu and into the material world. And we know Lord Balram is his first expansion. And from all other expansion, Purusha Avatara, everything comes from Lord Balram or Nityananda Prabhu. And we know Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu is also sometimes said that he is Balram because he's coming from the second expansion. So then we also know he is the serpent. So if he's serpent and Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu, then is it the same person, or does the Lord take over as Vishnu when Balram is serving as the serpent?
Okay, so very interesting question. Technical in nature. First of all, thank you for your kind words. All glories to Prabhupada. So whatever glories you have said, it's all belongs to Prabhupada, and I have to, wherever I'll have to improve, with your blessings, I hope I will improve one day. It's is Govardhan Krishna? Is Lord Chaitanya Krishna? So that's a say. Is Jagannath Krishna? So the answer for your question, when we speak about this, you will get it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, not Krishna like or Krishna devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. Hmm. If anybody has any doubt, then they have a problem. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, at the same time he plays the role of a Krishna's devotee. Giriraj Govardhan is Krishna, but sometimes he plays the role of a Krishna's devotee. Um, these are all happening simultaneously. And in every universe, wherever the Lord is performing his Leela, he is expanding himself. That is why we discuss in Ishopanishad, Purnam Adaha, Purnamidam, Purnad, Purnamavashyate, Purnasya, Purnamataya, Purnameva Vasishyate. Wherever, in whichever form, in whichever expansion, and whichever form and shape the Lord takes, each of them are in absolute nature. So when he becomes an Ananta Sesha, his identity as Balaram is also intact. His identity as Ananta Sesha is intact. They are same person with two different moods. So this answer was, similar question was asked about Vishnu and Krishna. So the answer generally is given as Vishnu is your father at office, Krishna is your father at home. So the same answer can be given to Balaram as Ananta Sesha, Balaram as Lakshmana, Balaram as Balaram himself, or Balaram as any of these expansions. So because in the spiritual science they are expanding, but they are all Purnam, they are all absolute, they are all full. So to that extent, each of them have got their own rasa. Each of these concepts and personalities, they have their own form and shape and existence, but they are all same tattva. To that extent, every one of them have got their fullest potency in place. Am I making some sense, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. So the Lord
Okay.
can have different moods and different forms simultaneously.
Yes. Yes. Father is the same father. Sometimes he is at the office is like a officer. At home is like a beloved. So he can have simultaneous coexistence. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful answer. Makes very clear.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Please
Krishna.
accept my humble senses. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your wonderful nectar, Prabhuji, today morning. Enlightening with so many good examples, and your classes are always uh, very, very, inspiring. And I like the concept of papad and PP. So that is really, if one follows that, will be a good way of preaching. That's what my takeaway today, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I don't have any questions. Hare Krishna.
Jai Ho. Very soon they will knock at your doors. We recently have taken up services in ISKCON Congregation Development Ministry, and we are trying to work out various strategies to spread the Sankirtan mission, and we want many more puppets. We want many, many people. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, we like me and my wife Shanasika. Normally, we are more emphasizing on senior citizens preaching here, so
Oh, super,
which is
super.
really needed in this age. Not from devotee circle, but it is senior preaching from non-devotees from our county here. Yeah.
Prabhu, it's a important, a responsibility. Narada Muni is teaching to Yudhishthira Maharaj about the responsibility of a grihastha. So, and the responsibility of the king. So, looking after the dependents is our responsibility. If it is not, then the house is not in order. So, you are contributing for a great righteous cause. May Krishna bless you and help you in your endeavor. And we are also at the congregation ministry looking at Jayapatak Maharaj, as I said. He told us in the recent meeting that I have so many ideas that I want to implement. Buckle up. So we are all,
Yeah.
waiting for him to throw us on ideas, and probably one of the things that recently we spoke about is also Varnashrama care. It's not only non-ISKCON devotees, Prabhu, even ISKCON devotees is
Yes.
very important need, especially okay, somehow in USA the scenario is right from the last 1 century, or maybe I don't know how long. People have accepted about the nuclear living setup, and we'll have to figure out about our own old age, and nobody is there for me, and all that people can do is once in a month or once in a year come and meet me, and that scenario is coming in even in India. And so I was talking to someone about the geriatric care is becoming a must. So, and I have my mother-in-law as well as my mother very close to my mother living with me, my mother-in-law living just one floor down, and we are watching what it takes, when they go through old age. So sometimes it's scary, when we go through. I'm not sure who's going to be by our side. So at least that gives us a sense of commitment and responsibility, saying that it's something that we should do. And it is said that last week, His Holiness Vrindavan Chandra Maharaj had come, and he spoke. He's a disciple of sannyas, disciple of His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. He spoke from Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto from Vritrasura's pastimes in one of the Dadichi's episode. He picked up a very interesting point and said, one of the duty of a son or a grahastha is to ensure that his parents and his near and dear ones are properly looked after. Otherwise, he, he was giving various adjectives about those who don't do it. So it was very interesting. So we have a lot of things to do for taking care of these old people. It's tough. They have their own emotions, mood swings, their expectations. We also did have them in our childhood days that they tolerated. So who will make others understand? So what you're doing is great. All the best. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Yeah, it starts from our home only. Like we have our parents, and then
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
since we are in US, I know it is very difficult for us, but still we are trying to catch up on all those things. But then this definitely helps us to be, that made us a thought initially. We joined as a visitor for, like, it was my mother when she came, and then my wife Shamasika, she intended to take her for that seniors club, and then
Yeah.
this idea, taking all seniors to New Vrindavan to show them the place, so then it started, that's how it
Very, very nice,
started.
Prabhu.
So it's a kind
Very,
of
very.
preaching, yeah, which helps us, yeah, to keep us.
My humble suggestion is sometimes please take children to such places. Sometimes
Yes,
the children should know that some responsibility needs to be taken, and each sons and daughters' responsibility. It's not only in partaking the family's wealth; it is also in partaking in family's care. Everybody is very much curious, thinking by according to law, 50% of the asset should go to son, 50% to daughter. They'll talk all the laws. What about responsibility of who look after your father and mother? That they leave it to geriatric care center or some old age homes. So it's a very sad story, but good, very good, wonderful.
Yes, and probably one thing, why I got attracted towards this papad and PP concept you mentioned, because even for the seniors like who are well settled here in USA, but it is very difficult for them to live without kids. No one stays here with the parents, so that is the culture. I don't know how, but in India it is not like that. But uh, like when we take buses, it is like 25 people in one bus, families, 28 almost. But two buses when we go, like suppose we are preaching to 50 or 100 seniors, then over the time of 1 year we were able to at least make few members to our conference also, like Surendra Bhandari Prabhu, who joins our conference daily, then Geeta Mataji, they are all from the senior group, probably Rita Mataji also, and Geeta Mataji, who is traveling right now. But that is the whole intention, like to bring them. At least this is the age where at least one has to do some bhakti, then chanting, hear classes. So that's the whole objective. Thank you, Prabhuji, so much. Hare Krishna.
One good, a suggestion that I can give is that
Mhm.
I mean, if they are all Indians, then all these Indians they tend to have the aspiration for learning shlokas and songs and some sort of apart sometimes philosophy maybe too much sometimes. So you can even try to make them learn some shlokas, sing some songs, make them perform. So because what happens is that as they grow old, they behave like a child. So you can make it as lively. I saw a old age group in Karnataka where a lady who was already 75, she brought almost another 25 30 old ladies. They regularly meet and they have play amongst themselves on Ramayana. So they kind of make that whole mood vibrant so that they don't feel that they are not with their loved ones. So probably we can make them, okay, today tomorrow all of you are going to perform a play from Ramayana. You become Hanuman, you become Lakshmana, you become. So they will initially hesitate, but then when they are getting into the groove, then they'll have curiosity. So you narrate a story and you make them I do not know whether they are Indians, non-Indians. I don't know many ideas, but the point is how to make them. Sometimes they are interested in learning shlokas. They're interested in learning singing some songs, making some performances. Why not? Go ahead. Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your advice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just want to mention, you were mentioning Devakinandan Prabhu. His brother, Uttam Slok Prabhu, lives very close from here. And he came yesterday and he gave a big samosa from Juhu. This is a sweet samosa with nuts,
Aha.
and I was so happy. And you mentioned that today, and it was so nice. You're also from Juhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, definitely. Devakinandan Prabhu is one of our favorites, and he does a lot of service to Srila Prabhupada Sankirtan Mission. So wonderful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you so much for this excellent class as always, and the suggestion for senior citizen. We will do that for sure. And one of our senior, Vinod Maheshwari Prabhu, is traveling to India, and he was mentioning about you, new Mumbai temple. So I gave your contact to him. So
Sure,
maybe
sure.
he will, yeah, please take care of him, Prabhuji, if he they come
Sure.
to,
Definitely. We have a
New
wonderful
Mumbai.
guest house here. He
Yeah,
can stay here. Wonderful guest house.
okay, sounds good, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So if nobody has any question or comment, we can end up the call here.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो नमः।
अनंतकोटि वैष्णव
वैष्णव
की
जय
जय। प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
His Grace राम गिरधारी प्रभु की जय।
जय
All assembled devotees की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
Thank you,
हरे
प्रभु जी। दंडवत
हरे
प्रणाम।
कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण हरे